And I can say all this is sort of in context of several other meetings on these issues that have been happening for a while, but I'm positive that advocacy and action move these issues sort of across the finish line and really helped to create relationships that we couldn't have made before without a broader reach from our members. And so what I want to do is I'll bring in Lisa here, who's worked on the Hill as a staffer and around the Hill since, to give you more perspective on sort of why we do these fly-ins, why they're so important, and sort of why it is that we go to the Hill, and talk a little bit more about what you're about to embark on. Lisa?
Thanks, Emmy. So just really to reiterate a number of the points that Emmy mentioned and that you see here on the slide, AIA, whenever or any group of people really going to the Hill is a very, very powerful way to influence federal policy. And I agree with Emmy's assessment that the meetings last year really made an enormous difference in our ability to move issues forward and see some tangible results. The congressional staffers make recommendations to their bosses, whether it's a senator or a representative, on which bills to support, if they should put their name on it as a co-sponsor, on how to vote on any given topic, on whether they should introduce legislation. If they make a recommendation that a senator or representative should introduce a bill and the member says yes, then they'll be the one, the staffer will be the one drafting the legislation, and they draft talking points for their bosses to use in meetings with other members of Congress and in public statements. And they receive many, many, many emails from advocacy groups and constituents every day. Since when I was on the Hill, which was a while ago now, I felt a little bit overwhelmed by email from time to time, and the quantity of email, as probably is true for you as well, seems to continue to grow exponentially. So what this means is that the in-person meetings are even more important, I think, than when I was on the Hill, because it's just it's hard for the staffers to keep up with the email, and when they meet with a person face to face, that's when they know, okay, this issue is so important that this person has taken time away from their day job to come advocate. So the slide does have some good statistics that were taken from a study of more than 1,200 staffers. I'm actually surprised some of the numbers aren't a little bit higher. The ones under the third bullet, for example, my guess is that 100% of the members of Congress would say it's helpful to have information about a bill's impact to their district or state, and that personal stories are important. And I also wanted to highlight the second bullet saying Congress places a high value on groups and citizens who have built relationships with the legislator and staff. As Emmy was mentioning, this having kind of the repeat business when folks come for a second year or a third year, that will really stick out in a staffer's mind. As just if there's one meeting, that's good. But when you come back and meet with a staffer for the second time, the staffer knows, okay, this person is basically not going away. It's important to listen, and they will generally look for ways to try to be responsive.
Thanks, Lisa, and I like that characterization. We're definitely not going away.
Yes.
With that, I do want to bring in Gary, sort of from a perspective of somebody who's been on the government relations work groups, sort of why we thought this was important and why it's important to continue doing this event.
I couldn't agree more with what Lisa and Emmy mentioned about the value of advocacy in our individual and corporately going to DC to speak directly with our legislators. That speaks volumes to legislators. And I can't say enough, and I can't say it frequently enough, that those on this call and those that are taking their valuable time and resources to go all the way over to DC at a very busy time in all of our lives and our businesses to speak directly with them. You on the call are a major resource, a very valuable resource to them. I think those that have attended in the past and those who might have attended maybe for the first time or one topic of many they may have during the day, but as Lisa mentioned about being persistent, we've seen firsthand in Washington State with being persistent for the legislators to understand that we aren't going away, that this is something that they're going to have to address